Here we go. So this is Akuchi versus Xyrix playing for entrance into the League A division. Okay, I'll try to keep the pace here. So we have Fountain, Innovation. I don't think there's Cemetery for trashing, Urchin for trashing. Cemetery, Urchin, Market Square stuff can happen here. Also Market Square, Tragic Hero. Akuchi has a 5-2 split. No action splitters. So you can think about what your terminal should be, or two terminals. So it could be Torture. Could be... I don't think Wear Off is very good. Displace could be... You could displace estates into cemeteries and trash. You can... So it looks like Xyrix is going for the Urchin thing with Mercenary, and Akuchi will go for Displace. Maybe he'll do the thing I said. Displace estate into Cemetery, take Market Square. I think Akuchi is going for Displace, Market Square, Cemetery, getting golds, and then displace the golds in the provinces. Oh yeah, it's going to be a really fast-paced game, I think. Akuchi buys an Urchin. Oh. I thought he wouldn't go for Urchin, since I guess he just wants the -1 card in Xyrix's hand. I don't know how powerful that would be, this game. He's a big Urchin fan. Okay. Among other sea creatures. Okay. Xyrix is going for the Market Square thing. So I think it's going to come down to basically Market Square gaining golds, but it's going to be really fast-paced. Oh, what? Why? That could have been a estate into Cemetery, I think. And then you can also Cemetery into gold later if you really need to. I'm not sure having Displace and a Mercenary seems like the best thing to do here, since obviously Mercenary can quickly collide, Displace into, draw Displace dead. 3 Urchins. Okay, and now I'm not exactly on board with this strategy. So Xyrix goes for the Urchin, or the Mercenary thing by turn 6. It's just so fast. How am I going to commentate this? Okay. Patricians, I guess. I'm not really sure about that. Patricians here. I guess later for golds it'll be nice. Okay, he just has 4 Patricians, and 1 5-cost card in his deck. Jeez. I didn't actually think we'll see this many Emporiums, but... Emporiums at all. I was thinking more Displace, Market Square stuff. Interesting. Hey, it worked. Patrician drew his Displace. Can play his Urchin, I guess, now. He could consider taking a Ghost there, which was quick and was not considered. But it seemed like you could displace the estate, Cemetery, trash the Haunted Mirror Copper, discard Urchin, gain a Ghost. Could have been a consideration for Akuchi. Jeez. Taking a Market Square. Okay, so now what are you going to buy 2? Nothing, I guess. I think there could have been a consideration for Ghost there, because now you just have 2 money. And you can't buy... I would buy nothing here if I were Akuchi. Yep, buys nothing. Xyrix buys a Market Square. Oh, nice draw for Xyrix. You can get double gold. I think that's better than anything else. Unless he wants to, try to draw... Okay, no, yeah, he got attacked. Hey, the Urchin actually did something. So I think that the single Urchin was good for Akuchi. I'm not sure having multiple Urchins was the way to go as my main consideration in this game. This is really fast-paced. I was thinking Akuchi could take 1 Urchin, but not multiple, because with Display Cemetery, you could easily trash deck quite quickly. So it didn't really seem necessary, but the single Urchin for just the attack is actually pretty good, as we see here. Now Xyrix can decide if he wants a Ghost or a gold. That's funny. So he's probably going to take the Ghost as the only action splitter, maybe? Take the Ghost? Yeah, I would take the Ghost. Just thinking about it. Yep, takes the Ghost. Okay. And he can buy a Market Square. Nice. I don't think silver is really worth it. Yeah, okay. So now Akuchi will trash, hopefully. I wasn't tracking his deck, but what does he have? No, I hope he doesn't have his thing down there. Doesn't. Okay, good. He can buy market square too. So now we're really setting up. Oh, maybe actually you can get lucky and not have to discard a copper here and then get double gold. That would be nice. Oh, yeah, that's a pretty bad draw for xyrix. Didn't find neither an urchin. I meant on the reshuffle, I think, is what I was thinking. If he had like 2 chance out of, well, I wasn't, it's so fast paced, but I wasn't sure how many urchins xyrix had there, but okay. Okay, takes nothing, but gains the gold from the market square. That's nice. It looks like, okay, so xyrix is first player, but it looks like Akuchi is slightly ahead, and I'm not actually sure if that's just because of the 5-2 split, but I think it's not because of that. I think it's rather because of just urchin collision stuff and shuffle stuff. And these piles are lower. Wait. Xyrix just took nothing? Okay, yeah. But he has the ghost in hand now, which is nice. Okay, so now Akuchi is really, xyrix is really hoping to find his mercenary here. Okay, Akuchi could consider displacing something like a urchin, for example, or a market square into an emporium. That could have been a consideration there. But he played the market square quite quickly. Could have taken the 2 BVP from the emporium stuff. I don't know if that's really worth it. What's nice is like Akuchi has his estates in exile. And xyrix has managed to only trash 1 estate, which is like pretty unfortunate. So now here as xyrix, you have to hope that you don't reveal mercenary, which he didn't, but that would have been pretty sad. So at least he got a good draw here. But yeah, that's a lot of action cards on the bottom for xyrix. Akuchi is basically drawing deck now, but still doesn't have a ghost. No ghost. Could consider taking a ghost now by just playing mercenary, discarding market square for a gold, discarding a displace for a ghost. Seems like that's what he'll do. Yeah. Nice. Great. Now he has maybe 5 or 6 money. 5, okay. What do you get by the 5? Emporium, I guess. Take the 2 VP, take them. Could consider. Yeah, Emporium, okay. Yeah, this game doesn't seem like a very good innovate game at all, I guess. Doesn't seem like there's much wiggle room with a lot of discard attacks, hand size attacks. Okay, so now xyrix has to consider whether he wants to discard the market square or not. It seems like he should at this point. He has very little in his deck. Probably can consider, mercenary first. Then you have another estate down there and maybe another copper. So you got to play this market square because afterwards you have 1 more estate. So you play the market square, trash estate copper, then you have 7 money. Great. Maybe you could buy an emporium or a gold, or probably emporium, I guess, right? Seems like the best thing to buy here. Oh, you could take a displace, actually. No, free hound seems pretty bad to me. Like for the hand size like for the discard stuff, but it doesn't seem very good to me. So you discard it and you put it aside, but okay. Trash. Oh, okay, so you trash a hound and a mercenary. Oh, I see what the idea is. Yeah, that's okay. That's a good idea. That might rely a little bit on the shuffle stuff, but anyways, xyrix doesn't do it. But he does take the displace, like I was thinking. So like you can start displacing stuff into, and he's got the ghost in hand. So does Akuchi. So this will be Akuchi's first ghost play, xyrix's second ghost play. Where piles are getting like relatively low, but it's not low, but not scary at all since no one has much money. It seems like Akuchi's economy is like not more than 10. I don't know. I think he has 2 golds maybe, and xyrix has like 1 gold. So now it seems like we've entered the part of the game where you should build your economy and try to avoid discarding too much. Actually, the patricians for Akuchi seem like they're putting in some good work, more than I would have expected this game. So I'm pleasantly surprised by the patrician stuff. Seems pretty nice. Maybe that's why Akuchi seems a bit ahead, is just because of the patricians. Yeah, this turn, but they've succeeded other times. And even drawing one card is like a pretty big help. Okay, he reveals Displace, which is like a bit funny, but he could... Akuchi could take a province and also displace... Does he have 2 urchins still, or just 1? He could consider displacing urchin. I would probably keep the patrician. Could displace a market square and take an emporium or something, like without VP, but whatever, it's fine. Nothing else seems really worth it. Okay, anyway, sorry. So what xyrix is doing is just playing on, sadly. Not able to trash anything. Gains a tragic hero. He's going to go for the... he's going to try to trash his tragic hero and then discard all his market squares, which seems like a pretty good idea. You can at least... Like... Wait, will he have enough hand size for that if he gets to discard? He'll go down to... He has set aside a market square, so he'll discard down to 4, draw 2, he puts a 6, plays tragic hero as 8, exactly. Oh, nice. Well thought. That's a good strategy. So he'll be at exactly hand size 8, and he'll be able to discard all his market squares and take a bunch of golds if he wants. Yeah, if Akuchi isn't Mercatech, then he'll have enough hand size. Exactly. Just that it's precisely 8 if he just gets hit by Urchin, but Akuchi has nothing to trash, so I don't think there's going to be a Mercatech this turn. I think Innovation's pretty weak here. I don't know if there's like much to do with that. If you would have taken it, it would have been like way earlier in the game. Like it's way too late for that now, but I guess you could like think, actually it could have been really nice with like display stuff. Like you could displace a market square into an emporium and then you can keep playing type of stuff. It could have had some, I think Innovation had potential to be interesting here, but it like seems like we're just in the part of the game where we're just greening and taking golds and etc. So Akuchi's taken 1 province. Oh, wait, sorry, I wasn't following. He displaced, oh, he took a tragic hero, but now he can't play it. Okay. Well, he could play it, but he won't be able to trash it, which is a bit sad. So now Akuchi has 4 money, which is super awkward, and maybe could consider with what? 4 money? What does he have in exile? He could buy a market square to take his market square to exile. He could do that thing, and that's it. That's all I see. Tragic hero doesn't trash. Mercenary could trash a tragic hero and a market square to make xyrix's tragic hero not work. I don't know what else you want to do. What was nice about I'm really surprised we didn't see displace estate into cemetery stuff this game. That seemed like a really lost opportunity to me. But it's nice that Akuchi has all his estates in exile, being that he got the 5-2 splits. And this game, when did Xyrix first collide his urchins? Buys urchin. So he opened double urchin. Turn 3 urchin. Okay, wait. He had them staggered. So he first collided on turn 6, his urchins. Okay, and on the 3rd shuffle. Which is like pretty, not terrible luck, but definitely not good luck. What did he do? Oh, he actually did mercenary attack. Madman. He took the mercenary attack, so now Xyrix cannot pop his tragic hero. So sad. I wonder if Akuchi was considering that, but it's a really good play, I think, by Akuchi to deny the tragic hero pop. So now Xyrix will just be spinning. Could consider displacing something now. Displace... You could wait. Let me think this through. He could consider displacing a Wait a second. Could take an Emporium here. Could take. Is there any opportunity for trashing? So you want a second card. He could trash a Mercenary Tragic Hero, like with his Mercenary. I don't know if that's pretty sad, but at this point, if you don't play a Ghost, you can't pop Tragic Hero. So since Akuchi denied him the Tragic Hero pop, he could do the Mercenary Tragic Hero, do the same thing basically back to Akuchi and deny Akuchi the popping of the Tragic Hero. Oh no, Akuchi already trashed a Treasure Hero. What? Oh, sorry, I missed that. He trashed a Treasure Hero last turn with his Mercenary. Haha. So he could do the same thing back. He could trash a Mercenary and Treasure Hero, kind of back to Akuchi, and deny, or at least, not deny, but just to get rid of these cards, because now you can't use your Tragic Hero anymore. What else could you consider here? Then you could take a gold with Market Square. So that's the upside. And then you can just place gold into Province. And buy, I don't know, buy 2 coppers to trash. Since you'll have 0 money. That's one line. You can also, of course, take the Emporium stuff. But then you'll have like a very awkward amount of money. Like 4, what? Oh, that seemed early to me. Okay. I think there was other possibilities here. Huh. Okay. I think there was other possibilities there. You kind of kept going, but oh well. On to the next game. This is like 15 minutes per game. Very fast-paced stuff. All right. Academy for Action Splitter. Mountain Pass for the bidding stuff. Oh, Rebuild here. Action Splitter is none except Academy. So scrap for trashing. The question of Seahag here, it seems pretty strong, actually, the Seahag attack. If his scrap is the only trasher, Seahag is pretty strong. Could be rebuilt here. No, wait, no, it can't be. No, what am I saying? There's no estates. Okay, back to square one. There's no estates, so rebuild seems pretty weak. Unless you want to take a rebuild later in the game to kind of... Yeah, so the Seahag line seems pretty strong with scrap as the only trasher and also no estates, so the scraps even give one less option. Scrap. What are the considerations for a 3-cost card? Silver probably, but silver to hit... I guess you want to hit Academy pretty quickly. Then you could kind of like consider taking like a second Seahag to be super mean or something. I don't know. Or Horse Traders to counter Seahag. So what do you want to build here? It looks kind of sad. Like there's no draw other than scrap. Gain a horse. That's a pretty weak draw. So the draw is weak. Which makes, on weak draw, that makes rebuild stronger, I think. Unless I'm not sure I'm saying that right. You could do something like Haggler money stuff. Okay, warehouse to hit. Yeah, it seems like it's going to be just a Seahag war right now. So now what? Akuchi hits 4 again, so he might consider taking a second Seahag, which is just obviously like super mean, but probably really strong considering the trash is so weak. So they both open the same, but they don't mirror. So actually Xyrix gets a nice, fairly okay draw. Like he has the option of seeing another Seahag, but he's second player on a Seahag board, which is like obviously not fortuitous. Akuchi buys a silver. Okay, so he's going to go for more building stuff. Buys a silver as well. Good. So no one's going for scrap this game, or at least not right now. With 4, you could consider a second Seahag. It's mean, but I think double Seahag could be pretty good, and then you could take a scrap later and kind of scrappy Seahags. And plus, like with the Necropolis, the collision seems... He takes a Horse Trader. Okay, he's hoping for like a Horse Trader reaction. I'm not sure if... Might be okay. Akuchi doesn't bottom deck the Seahag, so he's happy. Xyrix does, I think. There's a Seahag in those 4 cards. So he's not happy. Xyrix has 2 curses. Akuchi has 1. Akuchi buys a silver. So Xyrix has 5 money. Well, he's going to go for a rebuild. But he did bottom deck the Seahag, so he's sad. Okay. I think also the rebuild might be nice. If you find like your rebuild on the top with your Seahag, then you can like reshuffle and try to get another attack in. Maybe that's the logic there. Yeah, so he sees a collision between Horse Traders and Seahag, and obviously the attack is much stronger. So this game is going to be like a slog with decks full of curses, Presumably, Akuchi will win the curse split. And he discards the Sea Hag. Oh, and he played his rebuild with his overgrown estate in hand. So that's sad. But what can you do? I mean, the rebuild seems still premature to me, but it's okay. He's gonna double down on rebuild stuff. So the downside of the rebuild thing is like it discards your Sea Hag unless you find them both in the same hand, like on the top. So not so on the top, but together at least. Not like it has to be either Sea Hag then rebuild or Sea Hag and rebuild, but never rebuild Sea Hag. So now you're gonna have just a bunch more curses. I think Xyrix has 3 curses and Akuchi has 2, I think. Now Xyrix has 4 curses, I think. This is going to become... So he's going to go for warehouse rebuild stuff. I don't know if the... Okay, so they're both going to go for a rebuild thing. Who is the scrap? I didn't see someone pick up a scrap. Oh, Akuchi is a candlestick maker. That's funny. I guess he bought Candlestick Maker before he was going for rebuild stuff. Like he bought okay, I see. Yeah, he bought a Candlestick Maker like much earlier in the game on turn 6, and then he got 2 rebuilds. All right, yeah, I see that. I see the logic there. Okay, he's got 5. He could buy a 3rd rebuild. Akuchi could buy a Duchy. Xyrix with a triple curse hand. Oh my gosh. You can't trash the hovel is the problem, but you can buy a Duchy. Oh, you could trash the hovel if you keep spend a coffer. But he just chooses not to. He chooses to keep the coffer. Maybe he's thinking maybe later on in the game I'll have 4 and then I'll need the coffer. Yeah, I don't know about the... I wonder how this would have played out if someone had taken like a double Sea Hag thing, because like they're both going pretty light on the Sea Hag stuff. Like Akuchi has the lead in the curses by far. I think it's like 4-2. Akuchi giving 4 and Xyrix giving 2 or something like that. So that seems like it might have been... Of course, it's just a first player. Oh, it's taken 5? Yeah. It might be just a first player, second player, but also because the rebuild ditched the Sea Hag twice for Xyrix. That could be also this curse discrepancy. So I'm not sure about that first rebuild, which discarded his Sea Hag and didn't flip green card. That seemed like a pretty premature rebuild to me, but I think it's also, I don't know, hard to say. I'm just trying to give alternate opinions here. Okay. Xyrix is playing his Sea Hag now, finally. So now Akuchi has 3 curses, and Xyrix has 5. Yeah, that makes 8. And so who gets the province? Xyrix gets the province, so now Akuchi... What? I just missed that. Akuchi just took 40 dead. That's hilarious. Why? Why? He only has 2 rebuilds. Why take 40 dead? That really changes the game a lot. Why take 40 dead? It's like a strong statement, like, I'm not going to buy any more cards the rest of the game. Okay, fine. But then he didn't spend his coffer before either, so now he has these coffers. Why have a Candlestick Maker and take 40 debt? Anyways, that's really funny. But I'm not sure it's a good play. I think you should have bid high, but not that high. That seems like 40 is a lot. I don't know what Xyrix... So Akuchi just bid first, right? So he bidded first on 40, so that Xyrix couldn't even take it. I wonder if Akuchi is overestimating how strong having 2 rebuilds amongst, I don't know how many cards he has now, maybe 25 or something. It seems like he's really banking on finding his double rebuild. Now I think at some point it seemed like Xyrix was completely out of the game. Now I think he could be back in it if he can... if Akuchi, it's so dependent on Akuchi finding his rebuilds that, yeah, this is pretty scary stuff. But Akuchi has a deck of 24 cards, okay. And he has 2 rebuilds. Xyrix could be in the game. I don't know. Okay, he has 6 money though. And this is before reshuffle, so does he buy a state or not? And I think no. But he could buy... Okay, a third rebuild, I see. Yeah, this is scary. Akuchi needs to find rebuild 3 times because xyrix will not buy a state. And Akuchi has to actually trash something into an estate. Or xyrix can just ignore estates completely, and so could Akuchi. Actually, could xyrix just buy estates? Like, it's a really fast-paced game, but I'm just considering if xyrix could have actually bought some estates, because Akuchi couldn't... Like, he could buy 1, maybe. Or... Because I don't know, what does Akuchi have? Because... Why? Because I was not counting what Akuchi has in his deck, but does he have any estates still? Or does he have just duchies? Because trashing duchy down into a state is really bad for Akuchi, obviously, right? I wasn't deck tracking because it's so fast, the game pace, but if Akuchi has estates, it makes sense. But if he has no estates, then it makes sense to buy a state, I think, because then Akuchi has to trash down, which is bad, and would lose right? Because Akuchi would lose 3 points every time he trashes into an estate, and he can't buy a state, so he's not threatening that at all. Okay, so he has to... Okay. Names province. Name is province again. And trashes a province into a province. Ooh. So now... Akuchi has 2 hands of 0 rebuilds. And... Huh. And now xyrix can he buy a province? Because that would be the best, right? He can buy an estate now and try to buy... If he can't trash anything, he can't even play his rebuilds now. He has to... This is so bad. He has to buy a province. He can't trash into it, but he has, like, presumably, like, 2 more turns to try. So does nothing. Akuchi does nothing. Ah! And Akuchi finds double rebuild on top. Lucky guy. xyrix kind of... I don't know about this 40 bed thing. It worked, but I don't think it should have worked so well. I think it, like, made the game state really close. Like, my impression of that game was, like, xyrix was super behind. Look at that. 6 curses and Akuchi 2 curses. But with the 40 debt thing, it made it actually close. So I don't think that was a good idea to see the 40 debt. But it worked out in the end. Okay, what can you say? So now we're playing to best of 2.5. So if Akuchi gets 1 more win, it's super fast game pace. If he gets 1 more win, it's over. There's King's Court here. There is city stuff. Margrave looks very attractive considering that it's the only plus buy and it's a strong attack. Rat's Way of the Horse. They're playing so fast. No one even considered the city gate. They got 3-4, right? So they could have considered the city gate to get a, not guaranteed, but very 60% chance or whatever of getting a 5-cost card. Could have been city gate something. So no one considered that. It just was straight Rats Hermit stuff, which is good. Rats for Way of the Horse and trashing your deck. Hermit for Madmen. Where's the money going to come from? So you're going to trash your deck presumably with rats, then play them as horses, and then you're going to have like hermits to also trash. You can gain silvers, I guess, with hermit, because you probably want to get like... So one thing it's considering is that hermit is the only extra gain on this board, and Margrave is the only extra buy. So at some point you're going to have like rats is a rats gainer. Yeah, rats is a really good gainer. Top tier gainer. Rats to gain horses is really good. So you can, yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking like at some point your deck will just be like rats. So, and play them as horses. So before you get to the point where you trash your deck too much, you probably should try to take some money. Because what could be really nice is to have, like this board, it looks like we're not going to see double province. And if we do, it would be some combination of like King's Court, Hermit to gain silvers or something, and like drawing with rat horses, horse rats, hats. Yeah. Okay, takes the city gate, takes the madman thing. Okay. Actually, what we could see is... Or what's actually also a funny interaction is we'll take a bunch of rats. So normally you'd think rats would pile, but in this case, with Way the Horse, they'll just keep going back to the pile. So the double powered city, presumably we'll never see this game, a powered up city, unless like hermits pile. But it's, okay, now, okay, anyways, xyrix is probably considering if he has another rats down there. Because he's probably thinking I'm going to play as Way the Horse and then Madman, but he probably thinks, okay, I wasn't counting again. It's super hard to count this fast game pace, but how many rats he has. So xyrix takes the rats. You can take a silver. Like, you will need economy this game. That's my only concern. Like, for sure you'll be drawing deck easily with rat horses. And you'll need a +1 buy, I assume. So Margrave is really strong against Madmen as well. Not that that's going to be a big consideration, but Margrave, the discard attacks are fairly powerful. I don't think we'll see Rabble this game too much. It's pretty bad compared to Margrave. City seems like also it will not get the double city bonus thing, so we'll probably just see City as regular village. What it looks like the game state will... And King's Court also seems like a high price point for very little return, unless you keep a Hermit, since you can gain silvers with Hermit, and you can like King's Court, Hermit, and gain silvers, what I said before. So xyrix could have trashed a rat to draw a copper to get 5, but he could still horse the rat. He gained a... he just gained a Hermit. Okay, he has 5 now. You buy a Margrave, I assume. Buys a Margrave, I assume. Don't see what else you could buy. It's duchy time. Time to buy a Margrave? What else could you consider here? Trading post? But like, you can already have the city. Buys a city. Yeah, maybe a city. So he wants the cities to play both his hermits, I presume. Also, Akuchi is a pretty sad draw. I think Akuchi has a Madman. Oh, but he has a city gate. No, he doesn't. Oh, it doesn't have a city gate. He didn't get the opportunity to do the hermit, and also doesn't find his... So Akuchi has a Madman, I assume, in these bottom 3 cards. So we could do like a horse, rats, and then Madman stuff. All right. So xyrix is going for the city first. So we can play both these hermits. That was the idea, I think, behind that. But now what is a bit sad is now he's not hitting 5. So I think like the Margrave attack for let's say the opposite way. This city could have been a Margrave this turn. That would have been really painful for Akuchi. Even if you don't get to play both your hermits, you still have a pretty good, you still draw and you still have a pretty good attack against Akuchi. So I think it's okay to take that. That could have been a Margrave instead of a city. Okay, now he has 5 again. Oh, wait, no. I thought he horsed that one. Okay, now you stop and buy a Margrave, right? Good. Okay, now xyrix looks definitively ahead to me. Akuchi finds the Madman. Still has 2 estates. I wasn't closely monitoring Akuchi's shuffles. I'm sure I'll look at his video later, but seems like pretty bad shuffles if he didn't get to trash his estates with hermits at an earlier point. Anyways, surely Akuchi will then go for his own Margrave. Does he have more copper? He has a silver, okay. So he trashes the estates, or trashes the coppers. He'll probably buy a Margrave here. Or he'll also do the city Margrave order. I prefer Margrave city order, just because of the attack is so strong. And then you can kind of like, yeah, he's doing the Margrave city order. That's like the one I preferred. Okay, so you start to horse these rats. The hats. Go hats. Find your Margrave. There you go. Okay, so now you could do, what does he have in his card? 1 copper. So you could do Hermit, gain silver, play the Margrave, then you have a 1 out of 2 chance of finding the silver, or he's going to count how many rats he has left. I don't know how many. I was like not... There's a rats in the trash. 1 rats, and then 9 out of the pile. He could have 1. Who has a scheme? Who bought a scheme? What the heck is that? Yeah, I guess you could scheme Margrave here. I don't know. I think it's like, oh, I guess maybe he gained it with Hermit, maybe. King score scheme can let you take a ton of silvers for payload. Plays a Hermit first, then he could play a Rats. Oh, no. Oh, that's what I said before. Ay. Hermit, gain silver, play Margrave. That's exactly what I said. Good. Now he has 7. Now does he want to take King's Court? And then he can try to King's Court collide with Hermit. Yes, he wants that. So now the preferred order for Xyrix would be like City, Margrave, King's Court, a Hermit somehow. So you can gain a bunch of other cards. Like, I don't know if you want Scheme for Xyrix or Border Village or just silvers. Try to get a second King's Court going and then build your payload with Hermits, gaining silvers, and then drawing deck. That looks good to me. King's Court, Hermit, gain a bunch of silvers, play your Margrave, build to double province. Seems like fine. Could even start buying. I mean, I don't know how early you want to green here. Maybe in 3 turns. So 3 or 4 turns? No. 4 turns-ish? It's going to be a fast game, I guess. If you get a second King's Court, you want to have King's Court, Hermit. I think 2 King's Courts is probably enough. You could also keep like gaining Rats and trashing stuff with Hermits, but I think it's pretty not good. Okay, what do you discard here, Xyrix? 3 cards. Discards his silvers, so he's going to try to find them. Well, now he knows his good cards are in the trash, so the logic there was he could even possibly trash a copper with Rats if he wants to, and then he'll draw back with his Margrave afterwards, so that's the logic there. Buys a silver. Akuchi doesn't hit 5, so that's sad. He was just 1 away from citying, but didn't get it, so Akuchi has no King's Court and no city, so Xyrix looks super ahead. Xyrix will play the Rats as a horse, as a hat. So on those 2 cards, there's his city, which he didn't find. Sad. But does he have another Hermit? No. So these are the 3. He took a risk there. He could have taken the... how am I trying to say? He could have played the Rats as a horse and then had a 100% chance of finding the city, but instead he played it as a regular Rats with a 50% chance, and he didn't find it. So now instead of having kind of a full turn, it's kind of a half turn. I don't know if here the consideration would be like, do you want a half turn and keep the Rats thing going, or do you just take a full turn and just forget the Rats? Okay, it's gone. Forget about it. I would have taken a bit more time to consider that, I think, but oh, it's not a half turn. Because why? What did he... Oh, because he played it Hermit the 3rd time as a horse. Ah. That's smart. I didn't even consider that. I was thinking about other things. Okay, that was actually a way better line than I expected. Okay, Xyrix, you play better Dominion than me. Awesome. So, plays the Rats. Trashes copper. Keeps the Rats going as horses, which is super nice. Okay. So he has the draw there. Plays the Hermit and he has 5. So he could still take... Does he have another silver there? Because here you could consider like buying a second King's Court and keep that thing going. Because, oh, he had a silver. Good. Awesome. Xyrix is deck tracking, which is what we expect out of A-League players. Great play here by Xyrix. I like that turn. That's a super nice turn. So he did the cool interactions like playing King's Court and playing Hermit 3 times and then using the 3rd time as a horse, gaining a silver, tracking how many cards in the discard, and then making sure he's exactly 7. So he even gained Rats as a horse and even made sure at the end of the turn he had 7 to buy a last King's Court. Very nice turn 8 from Xyrix. I really like that turn. And yeah, Akuchi is just super behind here. He has no city and no King's Courts. And can Akuchi hit 7 here? Is the consideration. And I think it's not even like that Xyrix is first player and Akuchi is second player. It just seems like Akuchi, for example, wasn't able to trash the states right away, and some other stuff happened, and he wasn't able to get 7. So now Akuchi is still taking Rats and takes a silver. So now he plays the Margrave. He's exactly... Oh, wait, what? Oh, right, he doesn't have an action splitter. Oh, Akuchi, no, he couldn't hit 7. So now he takes the city. Okay. So now he has City, Margrave, but is missing the double King's Court that Xyrix has, which is just explosive at this point. It means you can King's Court 3 different things. And what's super nice about that is like you have no chance of deading as soon as you have the double King's Court stuff going because you have the way of the horse. So there's no possible way to even try to... You can't even dud. You always have actions. So now he's going to take the... GG, yeah, okay. Yeah, I think it's a very fair resign. I think in the previous game, like game 1, there was like... I think game 1 with the displace stuff seemed like a pretty premature resign from Xyrix. Like, I would have played it out, but to each their own. Okay, so now we have already played 3 games, so it's Akuchi 2, Xyrix 1, and we're 45 minutes in, so that's 15 minutes per game, fast game pace. Here it looks like Magpie is... Wait, let me think. So we have Alter for trashing. We have Duka for super weak trashing. Is there plus one buy other than Duka? No. So Duka is the only plus buy. University actually seems pretty relatively weak here, since there's an actual village. You can also use native villages for like the tavern mat trash, but it's not really true trash. So now they're probably considering, do I open Potion? Do I open Magpie? I'm leaning much towards Magpie, but I could see... Okay, Xyrix has a 5-2 split, so now he has that's just not as good. That sucks. Yeah, ducat is like the American way of saying... I'm pretty sure Ducat is a French word, so you would say Ducat. Xyrix buys... So to make up for his 5-2 split, he, instead of like being sad and taking nothing on 2, he does take an engineer. So to try to kind of catch up and bridge the gap. I think it's a good risk to take. I mean, I don't know if it's like the best play, but it's, as second player, you like, since Akuchi is naturally ahead and had the good split and also hit 6 on turn 4. So super nice shuffles from Akuchi, and so Xyrix took the engineer just because there's like many targets for forecasting cards to try to make up the gap, I guess. And he trashes his engineer and takes double Magpie. So he's really trying to go for... he's trying to take the Magpie pile. Like at some point you can also... Like the more Magpies you have, the higher chance of colliding Magpies and getting more Magpies, etc., etc. So he's trying to go kind of take all 10 Magpies. Type of thing. And Akuchi, like that altar was super nice from Akuchi. So like it wasn't just a nice, I don't know the percentage, but it's pretty nice to hit 6 like on turn 4. Especially having only bought 1 silver. Oh, it's because did he draw with Magpie? Is that what happened? Yeah, he drew a copper with Magpie and found a silver, so it's like a pretty good turn 6 from Akuchi. And Akuchi did take a smithy and bought a village. So Akuchi's going to skip university here, and he's going to take the traditional build of village, smithy, altar for trashing, and then the payload could come from Windfall later in the game. And Xyrix is going for piling Magpies. Since Akuchi has 1, Xyrix has 4. Super high chance that Xyrix could possibly like take many on his turn, just kind of enter the Magpie pile, and then he could do like engineer stuff. I don't know. So does Xyrix has like basically, who is a Dukai? Oh, okay, Akuchi is a Dukai, and Akuchi could... I don't think it's GG if Xyrix gets all the Magpies. Akuchi has the altar and has trashed 2 cards already, whereas Xyrix is going for a different kind of... It's just 2 different builds, but I don't think if Magpies pile, it would be GG. I think it's more like still competitive in this case. So like for sure, Xyrix is going to go for like Windfall Magpie stuff. Hyper foreigners. I don't know. DZ. Classic DZ. Yeah, because in Canada we say foyer and stuff like that. In the US they say foyer. I know, I spent a lot of time in the US. I know how they... French words are butchered in the US. And in Canada, we try to kind of maintain a little bit of... Anyways, so xyrix hits 6 and buys this altar. DZ, DZ, DZ. There's a TV show called Mike Tyson Mysteries, and there's a character called DZ. And then Mike Tyson always says like, DZ, DZ, DZ. That's why I always say DZ in my head. Okay, actually, wait, so let's kind of keep track of the game here. Akuchi manages to take quite a few magpies, which is like just luck of the draw, because xyrix had it set up. So Akuchi got 4 or 5 magpies. That's pretty lucky. That's happened to me quite a few times, like where you kind of slam magpies early and your opponent still gets like the equal split. So I don't know. It looks like Akuchi's a bit ahead here to me, since he's got the trashing in, although he's only trashed 1 estate. So the trashing the coppers is pretty sad. But maybe the trashing the coppers did help him get more magpies, so in the end, maybe that was a good consideration. Now he has 2 buys, and he has smithies. He will definitely need the actions, but he wants to keep the coffers. Okay. There was a consideration for double village there. He didn't go for it. I think we'll see Windfall probably before turn 10 or 11. It could be like, at least for Akuchi. Also, okay, so xyrix has a nice draw here. He got the smithy with the village. His singles, I think it's his single smithy and single village, but he might have 2. I was not closely following. It's going so fast. Okay, his magpies all miss. Does get the altar with the estate, which is nice. Takes a smithy. Probably takes another village here, I assume. Seems like reasonable to me. And it also seems reasonable to me that they both skip university. It looks like a pretty good university skip board, considering there's no 5-cost cards, and that village smithy is kind of the classic draw. I would also skip uni. I agree with both their choices. So Akuchi does trash the estates and has trashed 2 now. xyrix has trashed 1. Now what do you take? You take another village, you take a smithy village stuff, or do you kind of start to... So basically, they're both considering, you just want to draw as quick as possible to trigger Windfall. So there's no way they're going to like buy gold. They're just going to like keep slamming Smithy Village until one of them hits Windfall. And maybe Akuchi is keeping the coffers because he wants to like... Actually, I don't know anymore. Never mind. I think that the last turn, it looked like to me like Akuchi could have bought double village, but he didn't collide. Nothing bad happened, so I guess it's fine also. Cuppers looks like a skip to me. Native Village looks like pretty skippable. Hunting Grounds is nice. With Hunting Grounds, if you do buy a Hunting Grounds at some point, you can like, in the end game, trash it with your altar to gain double duchy for like a kind of province, like a... And then the other person has to kind of count that you can do that the whole game. So I think Hunting Grounds is pretty nice here for Akuchi. I would take a Hunting Grounds. Does take a Hunting Grounds. xyrix hoping his magpies will hit. I think he still has like an estate down there, but I wasn't counting his deck. So xyrix is going to play magpie. Akuchi has a possibility of drawing deck like in a turn. I don't know if, not this turn necessarily, but maybe the turn after this one. Nice magpie hits there for xyrix. So he gets a pretty good economy and does take the Hunting Grounds. Couldn't have taken Village Hunting Ground, not enough economy. Oh, and xyrix does collide his village and a smithy again, which is pretty nice. And Akuchi does too. But there was a moment there Akuchi almost missed. So now Akuchi's hoping to find his Hunting Grounds. Please Hunting Grounds, misses Hunting Grounds. And that might be all the villages in Akuchi's deck, unless he has one more. I think xyrix probably has 2 villages and Akuchi has just 4. That seems right to me. I wasn't counting. But it looks like Akuchi might have a dud next turn. Anyone feel free to correct me on that? It's like, he has a magpie, yeah, but he doesn't have any villages, I think. That's what I was trying to say. So Akuchi could have 10 money. So what does he want to buy 10 money? He could consider Hunting Grounds Village again. He could consider, keeping the copper in hand, looks like he's going to take another ducat. He could take a Hunting Grounds ducat. He could take a Village ducat. I think a second Hunting Grounds is probably really good here. Especially once you get the Windfall stuff going, you're going to have like a kind of big deck. So you want to have big draw cards. Takes the Village ducat. Okay. And now he has to really... Oh yeah, I was right. So he has no villages. So he has to really hope to draw a village. He has 4 villages and he has like 2 10 cards or something. Well, he has to pray to Steph or the Buddha or whatever. Okay, so Xyrix is having a nice turn here. His magpies are finding coppers. He found his hunting ground. Now he has to think about playing the hunting grounds to buy windfall. He's going to do that. He considered it for like 3 seconds, but he did it. Going to be quick windfall. So he'll buy windfall. He could consider taking another village of some kind. I don't know if taking native village was actually that good, considering he only has like 1, 2, 3. Okay, he has 5 stop cards, and he has only 2 villages. So yeah, maybe native village is actually good. Yeah, and in this case, you want to play windfall first and then native village. Too bad we didn't get the game before where they had like the crap. I forgot the event now. What's the event we just saw? The 3 costing one? Oh, Citygate and Native Village. That's super nice, but they got it in the wrong order. We got Citygate game, and now we got Native Village game. I really like the interaction between Citygate and Native Village. It's like a free exile. Okay, so he's still thinking about Windfall, Native Village. I don't think you'll need more than 2 buys this game, so I think Oh. That's not what I expected. He didn't take the... Why play the... Now I'm really confused. Okay, so now... I think Xyrix, if he was not considering to take a windfall, then I would not have played my hunting grounds, right? So he had an option earlier in his turn to play either his altar or his hunting grounds. So I really would have preferred to play either altar and then not go for windfall, obviously, and get a trash in, or to play the hunting grounds and buy the windfall, but not like play the hunting grounds and also not buy windfall. So I think that's a little bit of a misplay there. And Akushi does dud, like I said, that could happen. So it's sad, but it happens. These piles are getting pretty low. There's 5 smoothies left. Xyrix has an engineer and an altar and 4 money. Is that enough? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 gain short. So close. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's not enough. Xyrix is 1 gain short from winning, but like what a twist that Akuchi dudded and Xyrix didn't take windfall. Like this game is getting so much unexpected stuff happening here. But does lower smoothies. Very, very bold, if I may say. But Akuchi doesn't have an engineer, or does he? No, he doesn't. So it's okay. I think... Did Akuchi buy an engineer? Wait a second. He did not. So it seems like it's a pretty bold, but he has no pile pressure, yeah. Jeez Louise. These magpies are hitting. He has some happy magpies in his hand. Akuchi went from dudding to drawing full deck. Now Akuchi has to consider that Xyrix could pile, and so like Akuchi's probably thinking like, do I take windfall or do I just have to like buy a province because it takes a cuppers. Oh, he wants to reveal his hand. That's funny. So that cuppers interaction for like playing the cuppers to reveal the other person's hand, that's a nice play by Akuchi. I don't know if it's the correct one, but it's like certainly making things interesting. It gives you 2 money, but it adds another stop card to your deck. So like the deck is not like... So he knows that Xyrix doesn't have a great turn, so now he's probably thinking, I could buy windfall now, considering that I know Xyrix doesn't have a super turn set up. But Xyrix has the hunting ground, so if he finds a village, then could be in good shape. So Akuchi, why is he holding the copper back? I think a third ducat is just too much at this point. So I would say that Akuchi should definitely not buy ducat, and should probably go for either... The considerations are province to avoid piling stuff, or windfall, but windfall could like dud you. I wouldn't be a true dud because with windfall you could still probably buy provinces, but the fear is that Xyrix could pile and you would lose from 1 VP to 0. So if Akuchi wants to be super safe, he could buy a province now and then next turn buy the windfall, if presuming he has a good turn. So that could be a consideration for Akuchi. Finally, the game pace is slowed down a bit, so I can actually feel like I can think about the decisions that are happening here. If the game is over in 1 minute, we'll have been precisely 15 games per 15 minutes per game. I don't think Akuchi needs any more duka. Honestly, that seems like too much. Or because he wants, is that for pile pressure? Is that why you're saying that, Halo Andy? Because, okay, so your idea would be like that Akuchi could have 4 buys and then get a green card as well. So you could like gain a duchy with your altar or whatever and buy 4 smithies. How much money would he have with that? If he gets a duka, he'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 3 golds is 16. Oh, it's precisely enough. You counted it out? It's exactly 16 money. Oh no, never mind. He has the cuppers now, so it's 18. So he could have 18 money. If he draws deck, that's like still a lot of stop cards and like a lot of things have to go right for that to work. I would say Akuchi's deck has more chance of drawing than not, but you never know. It's a card game and has luck. So I think the safe line here would be just to buy a province, honestly. And then if xyrix can't do, like, doesn't have a good turn, then you can go for windfall. That would be like the super safe, dependable line, which I think I prefer. But you could live dangerously and take the duka windfall line that Halo Andy suggested. And doesn't, because he played his copper. Ooh, there we go. So he's going to go for province. I think that's the safe. Oh, province engineer. So then he has 1, 2, 3, 4 gains. So he could still, wait, does he have 8 money? Oh, he has 1 coffer still. So yeah, Akuchi could win by piles here. And xyrix duds, which, yeah, that could have, I mean, he did buy double village to try to avoid that, but now xyrix has to count all his cards and see what's on the bottom, so he doesn't draw 4 action cards dead. And he chooses not to play on it. I think it's mostly action cards on the bottom. I think it's like a lot of villages and stuff. At least 2 or 3 villages down there. So, okay, he's just taking another, yeah, it was 2 villages and 2 magpies. Okay, yeah, so that was a pretty good stop, I think, play by xyrix. Takes the villages. Plays the villages, sorry. And it looks like Akuchi will probably draw a deck unless he finds his hunting grounds. There he goes. Zoom, zoom, zoom. And he has 7 money exactly, so, or no, he has more than 7 money, he has 9. That's it. Akuchi will pile smithies here and win. And congrats to Akuchi on the promotion to A-League. Okay, Akuchi's thinking, but it's just piling smithies here. You just play altar, play engineer, trash engineer, take double smithy. Yeah, he sees it. Okay, it's over. Okay, I think this game, what made it the difference is xyrix did a weird play on, or what I think was a bit of a strange play on turn 11 turn 10. Anyways, there's a turn where he could have taken the windfall or trash with the altar, and he chose to do double village, and then he also went for lowering. So Akuchi took the dependable line, which seemed to work in the end. Of course, there was some shuffle stuff, but okay. Yeah, there was also hitting altar on turn 4. But okay, congrats to Akuchi on the promotion to A-League, where he's a regular anyways. And yeah, hope you enjoy, and GG's. Okay, signing off. Bye-bye.